Hey boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and show you where you can find your assignment for 4.6 in Social Studies, the end of World War II, and we'll go through how you're going to complete that assignment. You're going to start by going to your Social Studies course. We're looking under the HTS Supplemental Resources, Module 4, and we're looking at Lesson 4.6, the end of World War II. You can click on that folder and open up the lesson. And at the top here it says, you have explored how World War II began and progressed. You have learned how the war ended in Europe. It is now time to find out how it ended in the Pacific. So for this lesson, it's broken into sections. You've got section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for each of those sections, there's an assessment question or questions that go along with it. So I'm going to open up the 4.6 assessment. It's all the way at the bottom of the lesson under attachments. So I'm going to open that up. And here it's broken into sections as well, so you know what questions go with each section. And again, at the top here, it says, remember to use evidence from the resources that are within the lesson and answer each question in complete sentences. It's bolded, it's highlighted, it's in red to stand out. These answers need to be in complete sentences. So let's take a look at the lesson and the questions that go along with it. Section 1, Step 1. You're going to read the two articles, Victory in the Pacific and RW, the Atomic Bomb. You'll read those two articles, and then you're going to complete questions 1 through 4 on the assessment sheet, which is attached below. Let's take a look at questions 1 through 4. So section 1, you've got questions 1 through 4. How did the Americans end the war with Japan? Number 2, why did the president decide to use the atomic bomb? Explain how this would have been a difficult choice to make. So there's two parts to that question. You're answering why the president decided to use the bomb, and then explaining how that choice was hard to make, how that was a hard choice to use the atomic bomb, how that was a hard choice to make for him. Number 3, when and where did President Truman decide to drop the atomic bombs? So when did he decide to drop them, and where did he decide to drop them? There's two specific locations. And number 4, why did dropping the atomic bombs cause Japan to surrender? So why did those atomic bombs lead to Japan surrendering? Okay, so that's questions 1 through 4 for section 1. Section 2, take a closer look at the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You're going to watch the video, Hiroshima dropping the atomic bomb, and you're going to read the articles After the Bomb and the Atomic Bomb. When you're done watching the video and reading the two articles, there's questions 5 through 7 that you'll need to answer. So let's look at 5 through 7. Section 2, you've got 5 through 7. Do you think the United States was justified in dropping the atomic bombs? Explain your answer. So what that question means is, do you think the United States made the correct choice? Did they have a good enough reasoning to drop those atomic bombs? And then explain what you think. Make sure you explain. Number 6, how did you feel when you read the survivors' accounts? And why did you feel that way? Number 7, knowing the effects of the dropping of the atomic bomb, what would you do if you were President Truman? So this is your opinion. What would you do if you were the president and you knew what those effects of the dropping of the atomic bombs would be? Would you still drop them? Okay. Section 3, what changes took place after the war? Step 1, you're going to read the article, The Cost of War, and then you're going to answer questions 8 through 11. So let's look at 8 through 11. Section 3, 8 through 11. What was Germany like after the war? How did the United States support Germany, and why did they support them? Number 10, how did the United States support Japan? And then number 11, what is the United Nations and why was it formed? Two-part question there. What was the United Nations, or what is the United Nations, and why was it formed? So make sure you say what the United Nations was or is, because it's still in existence today, and why the United Nations was created or formed. And section 4, what world alliances were formed following World War II? You're going to read the article, World Alliances. You're going to watch the videos, United Nations Explained, and the formation of NATO and the Warsaw Pact. And then you're going to complete the chart for question 12. So after you read the article and watch the 2 videos, you're going to answer question 12, which is a chart. Section 4, number 12. Read the description on the right. Decide if the statement describes the United Nations, UN, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO or NATO, or the Warsaw Pact, WP. Write the correct abbreviation on the left side to match the description. So you've got the descriptions here, and you're going to match whether that description is the UN, NATO, or WP, Warsaw Pact. So there's obviously going to be multiple answers for each. You just need to make sure you look at the resources for section 4, the 2 videos in the article, and match what each of those descriptions connect with. All right, and then section 5, great work, World War II historian. Let's review. You're going to watch the World War II video, and then you're going to answer question 13. What questions do you still have about World War II? I know some of you guys, when you get to these types of questions, you email me and say, I don't have questions. You need to think of some type of questions that you still have regarding the information that you've learned about World War II. There is so much about World War II that we can't cover or we don't get to be able to cover because of time and our standards. So think deep about what you're still wondering about. And then your final step is to submit your assignment. At the bottom here, you'll have a blue plus button where you can click and attach your work.